Hi, this is Helen Haggerty, Technology Mentor, and today I'd like to talk to you about file management. I'm just wondering, are you organized? Does your workspace look like this? Everything is nice and neat? Or do you feel like maybe you could use some help? You know what I'm talking about. It can be difficult to keep things together, especially at school, where there's so much information going back and forth. So we got a bright idea. Let's use technology. That will solve all our problems, right? Okay, so here's the scenario. We gave all the teachers laptops, and we gave all the students laptops. Okay, let's take a look. Student, here you are. You've got a laptop, so you use it to make a cool project. Then you want to show it to your teacher, so you email it to her. This would be great, except we've got a couple things going on. The first thing is that when you email a project to your teacher, so does everyone else, and it's just not practical to manage. The other problem is this. Here you are again with your cool project, which you email to your teacher. And let's say you email it to a classmate that you're in a group with. So they each make their own improvements and email it back. So now here you are. You've got your original, one version from the teacher, another version from your classmate, and then you make a final version and you send a copy back to each of them. So now your classmate has 3 different versions. Your teacher has 3 different versions, but they aren't even the same 3 versions. So really, the problem is that now you, your teacher, and any classmates you decide to email your project to all have a big mess of files and emails. Not cool. Time for another bright idea. How about Google Docs? It's a perfect solution to these multiple files because it's cloud-based. Instead of saving the file on your laptop, home computer, or any device, really, you can access it on any of them, as long as you have the internet. That means wherever you have online access, you can get to your Google Docs. This is an ideal replacement for the email debacle because it keeps files centralized and secure, and it's free. It's also a pretty easy switch because it has built-in editors for files like Microsoft Word documents, Excel spreadsheets, or PowerPoint presentations. What makes it great for school is that all those assignments that used to take up so much paper can now be streamlined using technology. Plus, when it's project time, you can collaborate by sharing files with your classmates, or anyone, really, as long as they have a Google account. But the most significant person you can share your work with is your teacher. And this is going to make her happy because she's not dealing with that email disaster anymore. But now you have a little bit of a mess on your hands. It's all well and good to use Google Docs to create documents, spreadsheets, and presentations. But if you don't keep them organized, they're just going to become as much of a mess as you had before. So here's the real bright idea. Let's start today and get organized. There are a couple of other tools you might have heard about, but I want you to know that Google Docs is going to be our best tool for file management because of all the features that it has built in. Your first step will be setting up collections. They work a little bit like tags because you can color code them and even organize a file into more than one collection. You'll see a folder-like icon because it indicates a group of files. You just need to know that in Google, it's called a collection. Your second job will be to go to your laptop hard drive or whatever computer you use and upload the files that you've stored there. You may have to do a little tweaking to get your files to look exactly the way you want them in Google, but most conversions for text files are pretty straightforward. The most significant feature of Google Docs for education is sharing. There are 3 ways to share a file, and you want to make sure you choose the right one, depending on the situation. The simplest level of access is when you give someone the right to view or make a copy, but not to make changes to your files. You might also give another user the right to make comments, but they still won't be able to make changes. True collaboration means giving editing rights. This allows specified users to make changes to your files as long as they log in with their Google username. There are lots of other features built into using Google Docs, but these are the most important things for you to know about file management basics. Another tool that you might use or might have heard about is Dropbox. It's a tool that you can download from the internet at Dropbox.com and then install it on any number of different devices. Kind of like Google Docs, you can make folders and share them with your teacher or your classmates. And again, you can share files with anyone as long as you put them in a public folder. But the disadvantage is even while you can get to these files from anywhere, Dropbox folders are still just folders, and you will have to have the software program to open and edit whatever files are in the folder. The other drawback is that you have to pay if you reach your storage limit, where Google Docs was free and had editing capabilities built right in. If you're in a tight spot with a file that isn't otherwise stored somewhere online, Dropbox is another option for cloud-based file management. The last tool that I want to mention you may have seen on your school laptop, and it's your Z Drive. You can use it to store files that you can get to anytime that you're logged into your school network. The only problem is, just like Dropbox, it's still only a folder, and additionally, it's only available when you're on school grounds and your computer can connect to the district network. When you consider that it also has a limited amount of memory space, you can see why Google Docs is probably going to be the best tool for file management in most situations. But of course, teachers like me aren't the only ones with bright ideas. So what about you when you get a bright idea and use an online tool that isn't in a format supported by Google Docs? The good news is, all you need is the internet to get to many of these tools, so it's easy to stay organized and still use Google Docs. Just create a document for the assignment and paste in the link. Then organize it into the class folder that's shared with your teacher. Now you've used the internet to make and turn in an awesome project, and you still haven't spent any money because Google Docs is free. So, in reality, by the end of the day, you might not achieve perfection, but you know that getting organized will help make life easier for your teacher, and you'll feel like a hero because you've started to learn some basic steps that will help you from now on, and you'll be able to get your files managed. Thanks for watching.